What about the myth of eternal punishment? That's basically Christian again, is it?
Yeah, it's coming from this, not just Christian, many religions have those ideas of hells.
Right.
Like in Buddhism, there's many different hells, for instance. So this concept of hell is quite old. But if you have this idea that once you're punished, you're going to be there forever, well, that doesn't help you change, does it? People's biggest fear when they're stuck in their patterns is that it's going to be forever. They're going to suffer forever, they're going to be stagnant forever, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
And it's those myths at the root of that. And that's why it's not always enough to work with your personal beliefs.
Right.
These are often held in place at the mythical level.
So we have to understand where we get these beliefs from.
Yeah, we need to release it from the mythical part of the mind.
How society kind of holds these. So we need to let go of these myths, basically. As a society, culture.
Unconscious, basically.
And what about God's whim and fate? Is that another?
Yes.
Just every people say, what's meant for you, I'll not go by you.
Exactly.
Is that a load of bollocks?
Same thing. People are saying, well, I couldn't do this because it's my fate, it's God's will. Well, no, you are God. It's your will.
Yeah.
If we can change it.
And the myth of losing the goddess, what do you mean by that?
Well, basically, when we first separate from the source, in order to find out who we are as individuals, we turn our back on the Creator. Therefore, we feel we've lost her. So we pretend she's turned her back on us, so we get all angry and everything. And actually, that's just part of our game to separate ourselves further, to become more individualised. If we recognise, no, the Goddess is there for us all the time, we've chosen to turn her back, so we can come back.
So do you think people are kind of, I wouldn't say broken, but they're missing this connection, and it's a big part of what's wrong with society. Oh, yeah. People don't feel, they feel like an isolated being, you know, like with consciousness isn't shared between anybody, it's just, they don't see themselves as part of nature or anything.
Separated.
Separated, yeah.
In that separation, not really happy.
Yeah. So they're longing for the connection to the Goddess, really.
And quite often I hide it amongst all the kind of control and fear, so they don't actually even go for it anymore.
A couple of ones to finish. How do other people's wills influence us? Like, for instance, doctors, you know, giving you their opinion on your...
It's up to you if you want to believe it.
Yeah. So we get, all through our lives, our parents dramatically, you know, it must affect our lives and how they try and imprint on us.
Well, because remember, we have choice. There's a mine of information out there. And why should you take anything as true without questioning?
So when you surf the internet, you just take the information and say this could be right, this could be wrong.
You can try it out, see if it works for you.
And also I'd like to talk a little bit about cancer cures. Has there been any cancer cures that you know of that have been suppressed?
34 so far that I know of.
34?
Yes, all natural.
How? Can you tell me about one or two of them?
Okay, well, when I was actually in the Amazon jungle, there was a medical team out researching this plant called Vaviola, because the native Indians, they used it to cure cancer all the time, there was no side effects, didn't have the problems of chemotherapy, and it was totally effective and safe.
Yeah?
Now, they didn't let everybody know about it, because what they wanted to do was actually find the active ingredient, so they could actually synthesise it and patent it and make a lot of money out of it. They didn't succeed, so they simply buried the tracks and nobody could find it. You see, they don't want there to be a natural cancer cure, because they can't make money, they can't patent a natural product.
So the cancer business is basically a business?
Of course, all the pharmaceutical company is. It's there to make money. It's billions of pounds.
Can you talk a little bit about your experience with treating people with cancer and what happened after you advertised on your website?
The one thing, I never advertised cancer cures, because that's illegal in the 1999 Cancer Act. Basically states that you cannot enter any adverts that
you can cure cancer.
For cancer, exactly. No, I never advertised it. But obviously I've treated people. People come, I'm not actually offering a cancer cure, but I'm giving treatment holistically. And people have become cancer. Once I got into the news, because one of my cancer patients showed she was actually getting better, I had entered persecution from the doctors and from the trading standards to make me take all the information off my website about it, you know, even though I wasn't doing anything wrong in the first place.
What information was on your website?
I simply wrote an article about the kind of things you find in dealing with cancer, the kind of emotional patterns you're dealing with and all that.
Okay, so because you're doing holistic healing, you were seeing these patterns coming up.
Exactly.
And you wrote about the patterns.
Yeah, so anybody who has a cancer or is dealing with cancer can actually get some ideas of what they might have to deal with.
So not necessarily to come to you, but just...
It was just pure information, it wasn't adverts, and it wasn't even saying it was a cancer cure.
And you were told to take that off?
Yep. Threats all around.
Yeah. And this make you sick to the stomach, basically?
Well, where I began to wake up to just how crap the system was. Because when you research further, you realise, yes, the kind of corruption that's gone into the medical profession is pretty intense. I mean, the whole thing is based on coming from the Rockefellers, who were funding IG Farben, the company that was producing the zyklon B gas to kill all the Jews. They realised the same people from IG Farben who now what they call the Codex Alimentarius, and behind all the major drug companies of Germany. These ones are controlling our medicine and our food.
That's incredible.
Exactly.
So basically, it's as if we never won the war.
Well, yes, it's an illusion. They've won because people believed that they've won. Now they've still got the upper hand there because they're carrying on their plan to control everything by poisoning everybody, basically. Yeah. And of course, the people like the Rockefellers fund all the crap things that make them money. Mm-hmm. And so there's huge money going behind this whole illusion. Yep. We could get into a whole 10-hour discussion about that, but we'll leave that interview just now. Can I just say before I go that I've really enjoyed the 2-week course I've done with you. I feel as though I've changed dramatically. I would recommend it to anybody. And thanks very much for giving us your time for the interviews. Thank you. And wish you well in the future. And you. Thanks.